Hey everyone, this is Hannah Bond with NSMA, and today I'm here with 2022 Kansas Sportswriter of the Year, Jordan Guskey. Jordan, how are you this morning?
Awesome. How are you?
Good. Thank you so much for joining me today. I just really want to hear about your career and what got you interested, and maybe some advice for me and other college students who wanting to get into the industry. So, if you're ready, we
Awesome.
can get started.
Yeah, let's do it.
So, how did you get into the sports journalism industry? What got you interested in it in the first place?
Yeah, I think like a lot of people, you grow up watching sports, playing sports, so that gets you interested in that sort of thing. And then journalism was not necessarily something I was totally interested in going up through high school, but I sort of got into it, started getting into student newspaper, and then Indiana University just became a great opportunity to further explore that. And when I was at IU, I got into sports journalism even more, and that propelled me sort of to where we are now.
So can you tell me about your first sports journalism job?
Like first full-time job?
Part-time, full-time, just kind of how you tell me how you jumped into the career.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I had internships during, college at different places, worked for, student publications, professional publications. So I guess the first big break, if we want to call it that, I guess was as a
Mhm.
sophomore at IU covering IU basketball, men's basketball and football, as well as other sports for 24/7 Sports as an intern. I guess that was the first big sort of break because that propelled me to be an editor and do more stuff at the student newspaper after that year was done with 24/7. So that was really big. And then I guess, my first, real full-time professional after interning at Indy Star after college was covering Ball State for the Star Press in Muncie, Indiana, for the USA Today network. And that propelled me to where I am now, covering Kansas.
And how long have you been here covering Kansas, University of Kansas athletics?
Yeah. So I guess at this point, it's been, let's see, so 2021, 22, like a year and a half, I think, about a year and a half, I would say, covering Kansas.
And how has it been? How have you enjoyed it so far?
Oh, it's been awesome. It's been, personally, professionally, as much or not more than I could have hoped for. The opportunities I've had, being able to work here with a great team, staying in the network, which was a big plus to making this move. So yeah, it's been everything I could have hoped for so far.
Awesome. And you said you went to University of Indiana. Do you remember were there any specific college courses that you think prepared you for the industry?
At Indiana University, I guess specific college courses, I guess there are a handful of different ones that really helped in terms of, features reporting, features writing, with different professors there. I think for sports reporting, the best thing to do, the courses are great and they're definitely really helpful to different people you can work with. But for sports reporting, you really just got to get on a beat, whatever beat that is, because you're going to get
Mhm.
that hands-on professional training that I guess maybe you could get that through a course. But if you can't get that through a course, I guess the number one thing, definitely get one of those beats, whether it's the student newspaper or some publication. And then supplement that with features reporting and other reporting, data reporting, investigative reporting classes that you get at IU or any other journalism institution.
Awesome. And do you have any advice for college students, or what advice do you have for college students who are wanting to get into the industry?
For college students, advice getting into the industry, networking is huge, whether that's with a professor, even your fellow students, because some people can rise pretty fast, or professionals in the area. So, like I said, at IU, I entered at Indy Star, which was big, helping me propel me to different places. 24/7 Sports, you can learn and meet people through that. So I guess networking is probably the biggest thing.
Mhm.
And then also just, you got to really enjoy it. So making sure that you really do want to do it is definitely number two.
And what do you think it takes to be successful in the industry? You winning Sports Writer of the Year for Kansas, that's big. So tell me what you think it takes to be successful in the industry.
I guess you got to care about what you're doing.
Hmm.
It can't be, something you're just gonna from time to time dip your toes into and hope that it turns out all right with the stories you're doing. So you got to care about it. You got to go and be, brave enough to meet people. I know that can be hard sometimes to make that first call or that first gesture. but that's big too. So you gotta care, you gotta put in the effort. Because if you don't do those things, it's gonna be a crapshoot from there.
Yeah. And so you've been covering, you said a year and a half covering for the University of Kansas. Out of all the athletics and all the sports departments, what has been your favorite sport to cover so far for the university?
Um, I don't know if there's a favorite sport to cover. Covering the NCAA tournament run was
Mhm.
obviously really cool for the
Yeah.
men's basketball team. Obviously, the women made it for the first time in a while too. But being with the men's basketball team every stop of the way along that run to the national championship game in New Orleans was pretty special to just be around and be able to cover and chronicle. And then also, I don't know if that was me or you, being able to cover the football team's first bowl game for the first time in more than a decade. That was pretty cool. But the women's basketball team made a big run. Swimming and diving, track and field have made some big strides too. So there are a lot of different things, but I guess I would say, that the NCAA tournament run for national championship was pretty special to be around.
Awesome. And you cover all over the board of all these athletics. Do you have a favorite story or a story that sticks out to you that you've done so far?
I don't know if I could pick one, sort
Yeah.
of along the lines of the NCAA tournament run. I think it's just been special to be a part of different, I guess, periods of time in different sports. Like
Yeah.
a men's basketball team making their NCAA tournament appearance for the first time in a while. So seeing that team take the strides it did, their stories around there,
Hmm.
how they were doubted and by a large margin, but were able to make some pretty big strides this past season and are doing well again this year. With football team being there in Memphis for that week, even though the weather wasn't great, the conditions weren't always the best that week in Memphis. It was still a great thing to be around and to chronicle that as well. So I don't know if I would say a specific story, but there are different moments that stand out, like I've mentioned in many others. And so really the collection of the stories around that time, not even just for me, from other people on the beat, I think are what I'm going to remember.
Awesome. Well, Jordan, thank you so much for your time this morning. I really appreciate hearing all about you and your career so far, and I really wish you the best and congratulations on Sports Writer of the Year for Kansas.
Thank you.
And I hope you have a great day. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you.